Hashtag TIFF15. Hey everyone, it's Adriana from Fresh from the Theater. It's been a while since I've done a video, so this is kind of feeling a little weird, but regardless, I always do a top 10 most anticipated video for TIFF. Today was the first press conference, so there were some very exciting announcements made, and I somehow narrowed down 10 films. It's gonna change, of course. More announcements are coming. Not all the films have been announced, and I'll keep updating my most anticipated films as more information gets released. But for now, I did pick 10 out of the lineup that has been so far announced, and it's been only special presentations and galas. So there's so much more to come. I'm so excited. This lineup looks so good. I don't know, I honestly, as much as I obviously love movies and run a website and everything, I don't read that much into upcoming releases, so it was kind of just like, all of these titles felt really fresh to me. I do know some of them that have played at other festivals, and I'm aware of some of the buzz of some of the titles. I kind of based my selections on plot and the talent involved, and there's not much you can go on based off the very little we know about most of these movies, but I am super excited to share with you the 10 movies that I picked. And while we're at it, I may mention that packages are on sale right now, so if you want to secure at least 10 movies, definitely invest in a package. It gets you an early selection. It's kind of expensive, but for me it's worth it to secure at least 10 titles. And then we can get into single tickets when that becomes a thing too. So let's just get started. My number 10 is Maggies Plan. I had never heard of this film until today, and I'm really going based off of who is in it for this one, just because the cast is like a bunch of my favorite people in one movie. We have Ethan Hawke, Julianne Moore, Greta Gerwig, and my love, Bill Hader. It looks like a good comedy kind of film, and I like to, there's so many heavy movies during festival time. It's nice to throw in a few comedies, a few feel-good films. I feel like this could be one of those for this year. It's about a young woman who wants to have a child and becomes involved in a love triangle between Ethan Hawke and Julianne Moore, so that sounds pretty cool. My number 9 is I Smile Back. I Smile Back stars Sarah Silverman as a wife and mother who is drug addicted and promiscuous, and her family's basically in shambles, and that's about all I know about it, but I love Sarah Silverman, and I think she's actually really great dramatic actress. The only testament I have for that is Take This Waltz, which is another film that played at TIFF that I really loved. But honestly, just the fact that she's starring in this dramatic film is enough for me to be excited to want to watch it, because she's a great comedian and I think she's awesome. And yeah, my number 8 film is Youth. Youth is directed by Paolo Sorrentino. He won the Best Foreign Language Oscar a couple years ago for The Great Beauty, and this is an English language film. And it stars Michael Caine and Harvey Keitel as two older men who are reflecting on their past and the absurdity of the world during a vacation in the Swiss Alps. And I just heard good things about this movie, and I like the cast, and I think it looks really good. There's honestly not much more. My number 7 is Mountains May Depart. Mountains May Depart is directed by Jia Zhangke, who directed A Touch of Sin. Sorry if I mispronounced the name. And it jumps from the recent past to the near future and examines life in China, how the economic boom affected the bonds of family, tradition, and love. That's from the TIFF website. And the reason I'm so excited for this is because I have a friend who has seen it in Cannes and says it is his favorite film of the year. Shout out to Matt Hoffman. Um, yeah, I am basically going on his word for this one, but also it does look really good. My number 6 is Room. Room stars Brie Larson, and it's about a young mother and her son who have been locked up in a room for the last 5 years. It's directed by Lenny Abrahamson, who did Frank, and it's based on a very popular best-selling novel, and it's told in the perspective of her 5-year-old son. I've heard so much about this book. I have always wanted to read it, just haven't got around to it yet. And I love Brie Larson. She's so awesome. She's such a great actress. And I also like the director. And I think that this looks like a really good movie. So I'm really excited for Room. My number 5 is Victoria. Victoria is about a young woman in Berlin who becomes somehow the driver for these bank robbers, and it's a one single extended take, so everyone's talking about that. That's kind of like a trend right now, but I've heard really good things about this movie from other festivals and people, and it looks really interesting and thrilling, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. My number 4 is Lola. The reason I'm so excited for Lola is because it's written and directed by Julie Delpy, who, as you may know, is the star of my favorite movies of all time, the Before series, and she's a very talented filmmaker herself. She's great at writing and directing. The movie is about a 40-something-year-old woman who falls in love with someone, but the relationship becomes rocky because of her relationship with her son. And it's supposed to be a satire. Honestly, sounds a lot like Cyrus, that Duplass Brothers movie with John C. Reilly and Jonah Hill and Marissa Tomei. But I like the plot. I think it will make for a funny film, hopefully, and I love Julie Delpy, so I just want to be in her presence, basically. My number 3 film is Louder Than Bombs. Louder Than Bombs is directed by Joachim Trier. This is the reason why I am so excited for it. It's his first English language film. He is the director of Oslo, August 31st, which is one of the best films of this decade. Completely beautiful, poetic film about a man who is basically suicidal. But this film is about a school teacher who's grappling with the death of his wife and is now reconciling with his sons. It's got a really cool cast. Jesse Eisenberg and Isabelle Huppert are 2 of the stars. And I've heard some really great things about this film from Cannes, so I am really excited to see it. My number 2 film is The Lobster. The Lobster was my number 1 most anticipated film of last year because I thought it was going to come out last year. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, or it was like, I thought I would play TIFF last year. But I've been waiting to see this film ever since it was first announced. And it's kind of surprising that it's my number 2, but something else was announced that I was not expecting that overtook the number 1 spot. Anyways, The Lobster is directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. He's the director of Dogtooth, which is, again, one of the best films of the last, 10 years, and Alps, which I've yet to see, but I really have been meaning to. And The Lobster's got, this incredibly crazy plot line. It takes place in this dystopian future where single people have 45 days to find a partner, and if they don't, they'll be turned into an animal and released into the woods. I am so excited at the concept of this film. I've heard some good things about it from Cannes, some maybe more mixed things, but I think this director is so talented and so offbeat and weird, and I love the concept of the movie, and I think it sounds just so bizarre and fun and interesting, and yeah, I've been waiting forever and talking about this movie so much. And the cast is awesome. Colin Farrell, John C. Reilly, and Ben Whishaw. I think it's going to be totally crazy. And my number one most anticipated film so far for TIFF is Animalisa. Animalisa is written and directed by Charlie Kaufman, who is maybe my favorite person in the whole industry. He is the man who wrote such films as Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Being John Malkovich, Adaptation, and Synecdoche, New York. This is a stop-motion animated film, and it's about a man who is trying to transcend his monotonous existence. I think it's just going to be so dark and deep and fun, and I don't know, I feel like I've been waiting forever for Charlie Kaufman to have new work come out and be celebrated. So many of his projects have been put on hold or canceled. He had this musical film that was like a satire, meta Hollywood kind of thing called Frank or Francis that was never made, and he had a pilot or like a TV show that he was writing that never got picked up, and he's just like, he obviously has an audience, people like me, and his films are like so celebrated and acclaimed, but he's also just so far out there that I guess not everyone's willing to take a chance with his stuff. So, you know, being let down about two of his last projects that just never got off the floor, to have him premiere his stop motion animated film, which seems just as offbeat as anything, is just going to be so cool and so fun, and I am so excited at the prospect of being in a room with him. I think this will be probably, I'm hoping it'll be my favorite film of the festival, but it's definitely the one I'm most excited for. Yeah, I narrowed down 10, and honestly, the picks are just I'm kind of pulling at whatever little information that I have. There's obviously so many more that I'm excited for. I'm excited for The Danish Girl, D-Pan, which won the Palm this year at Cannes. Other random stuff like, Trumbo, which has Bryan Cranston and Louis C.K., like, I'm really excited for that. Office, which is this musical film. Where to Invade Next, Michael Moore's documentary. The Family Thing, which is this comedy by Jason Bateman. Freeheld with Julianne Moore and Ellen Page. Spotlight, which is this like expose on Catholic Church. Yeah, there's a lot of cool titles at TIFF so far already. And then I'm still hoping for some more things to come, like Crimson Peak, I think would be really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty satisfied with this lineup so far. I think it'll be a great year for the festival, and check out freshfromthetheater.com. We're going to be continually updating you guys on TIFF announcements and stuff that's going on at the festival, and giving you guides on how to navigate it best and all this kind of stuff, because it's pretty overwhelming, and it's pretty hectic and busy and fun and crazy and all good things, but it's good to, you know, hear about people's choices and be exposed to new movies and just be aware of what's out there. So freshfromthetheater.com, that's my website, and I got a group of writers who are so great and helpful, and we're all going to be, you know, going crazy over TIFF. So check out that. This is just my first video. I'll be consistently updating my list and putting out videos and articles and all that kind of stuff about what looks great. Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for reading anything we write, and I hope you have a great time at TIFF this year. If you can't make it, you know, we'll be the source for information about what was good, what wasn't, and yeah, thanks so much. Have a great day, guys.